My mother grew up on a farm in Southern California, and I used to work on that farm every summer for years. And as a family, we'd go down there and spend quite a bit of time down there. Ironically, Mom growing up on a farm made her want to live in the city. Dad growing up in the city made him want to become a farmer. So it was really his desire to go off and have a farming property that started to kind of create this idea, and he felt that her family history was worth honoring. So this property was purchased, and they kind of moved into it slowly. They started with the trailer. Their friends would stay in tents. They'd come up on Labor Day and go hunting. They'd just come up for the weekend and hang out, and it was very informal. In fact, it was kind of nice to see these people 60, 70, 80 years old being so informal on a farm.
We wanted to get out of the travel trailer. We were getting older. This is 2005, about a little later. And second, if your son's an architect, you like having him build a house. But we didn't need a big house, so we decided to build something that was less than 1,000 square feet.
This Winters area, and in fact the entire Sacramento Valley, is a very old farming community. And it's dotted with water towers. And the reason it's dotted with water towers, and these go back 150 years, is that way back when, before there was power, you had windmills pulling water out of the ground. The windmills would power pumps. The pumps would pump the water up into the water tower, and the tower would store the water up high, so you had water pressure all day long until you pumped more water up to the top again. So that form, as an architectural form, has been in this area for a long time. In fact, there's probably a dozen within a few miles of here. Dad loved the idea of a water tower. He came up with that idea from the first day of thinking about the house, and he never let that idea go. And then it was a matter of kind of colliding the chicken shack form nicely with the water tower. And we did that in the terrace area. We also used the slanted walls of the water tower and the roof of the shack form to create some interesting geometric shapes. We were not after a rustic concept. It is a little bit rustic on the outside. It's really not at all rustic on the inside. On the inside, it's done with very clean plywood details, no open beams, almost like the interior of a boat, very sleek. And that was a reinterpretation of the idea of a farmhouse, in that it's not full of bric and brac and funny details on the inside. It's really very clean and spare. Part of that so that you look through this very clean space and see the view outside, which is a wonderful view of the crops and then the hills behind.
The great thing for us has been that with the water tower, we have this circular staircase that goes up, and so you can go up there and look out at your land and have a beer. And we just didn't think we needed a lot of space. As it turned out, the house became so popular with the children and all that, so finally, when we had some more money, since the price of tomatoes went up, we were able to build a little guest house of 600 square feet.
One of the interesting things about this house, and it's, I think, an incredibly practical aspect of the house, is that it's supported on 2 glulam beams. Here's one of the 2. The concrete piers are supported on 3x3 concrete pads that are underground, and that gives the house earthquake stability. Now, if we ever wanted to move this house, there are some bolts right there on a metal bracket. We can remove the beams from the concrete piers. A house moving truck will come in, pick up this house, and in a day or 2, it could be at another site, which is actually a plan that we have, because there's a ranch nearby that we own that someday I think will be the final site for this house.
The forklift that picks up this house and takes it 1.5 miles down the road, I won't be around to watch, but it's going to be a hell of a sight.
I think it works great, and I love the fact that we're not part of this McMansion craze where people go up to the Napa Valley and they build a 15,000 square foot house because they want to. That's not what we're after at all. This is really about simple living. It's not about bringing the city to the farm. It's about leaving the city behind and really having just farm.